What's your nationality, period?
I mean, I would say what, Israelite?
Okay.
That's right.
That's right. You are an Israelite, brother. But let me prove that to you. Let me prove that to you. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Y'all Muslims?
No.
No, what you just said.
We're Israelites, just what you said.
Yep.
We're not Arabs. Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
Watch this.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Okay, so that word Egypt, right? That word Egypt means bondage or slavery. That's word Egypt. Go to Exodus. I'm gonna prove it to you. Go to Exodus chapter 20, verse 2.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
So listen, he said, I'm the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, right?
Out of the house of bondage.
So what does Egypt mean, brother?
Bondage.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So now, go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So now the Bible says, and the Lord shall bring you into slavery, bondage, captivity again, right? Because if you know anything about the Bible, Moses delivered the Israelites out of Egypt. They walked out of there, right? So watch, just read it from the top again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Now he said, I'm going to send you into slavery again. Because the first time was with Moses, remember? Now he said, I'm going to bring you into Egypt, slavery, captivity again. But how? Read.
With ships.
With ships. So let me ask you a question. How did our ancestors get over here?
I mean, they stay on boats, but ships, boats.
Well, history shows us that. That's proven fact.
How they get over it?
Yeah, how did our ancestors come to this country?
How did they come?
How did they get over here? Originally, how did our ancestors?
What mode of transportation?
What mode of transportation?
A boat.
Right. So look, where we at? Right here. This is how our ancestors came in. We came over here by way of slave cargo. Some of us by way of slave cargo ship. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, read that again from the top. Watch this.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Slavery again. Read.
With ships.
With ships, right?
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
So the way the Lord said it was going to happen, it happened just the way he said it was going to happen. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Now that it is our homeland. We won't see our homeland no more again. Read.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
You're going to be sold unto who?
Our enemies.
To who? Said it again.
Our enemies.
Our friends.
Our enemies.
So he said, hey, we're going to be sold unto who? Our enemies. So who was our ancestors sold unto?
White folk, Europeans.
So
that's right.
So if our ancestors were sold unto the white folk, right? Read that again.
Thou shalt see him no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
So what would he be if we were sold unto him?
Who be?
That white man be? What would he be?
If we were sold the owner?
Right. So it says we were sold unto our enemies, right?
Right.
So, and our ancestors were sold unto our enemies, correct?
Right.
And who was our ancestors sold to?
Europeans, right?
Right. And so the Bible calls the Europeans our what? Read that again.
I mean,
watch this. Watch this. Listen. Watch it. Listen.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
And there ye shall be sold. Once we got off them slave cargo ships, we were sold unto our. Say that again.
Our enemies.
Our enemies. So was we sold to our friends? So, but the people that we were sold to was who?
Europeans, right?
And the Bible says he's our what? Our enemy.
Right.
That's what I'm looking for, our enemy. Right. So the Bible says we were sold. Now this not happen. This happened, right? We know this historical fact. Matter of fact, down the town courthouse, right? History shows us that our ancestors were brought off the Mississippi River and took right there to that courthouse on an auction block and sold to who?
Our enemies.
Huh?
Master Charles.
Master Charles. We got Negro Jeremy right here. Big Buck. Ben War start sold to Master Charles for $4. $100. Chattel slavery is what it's called, correct? So now, so by this right here, so you said your nationality was what? At first?
My nationality, I would say black, I guess. I mean,
right. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Where's the land black at?
You say where the land black?
Where's the land black at?
There ain't no land black.
We can't get it.
really, I believe I'm more Indian than African. Really, I'm
okay, because so now I would more agree with you when you saying Indian, a native of this country, Native American. I know what you mean, right? I agree with you more with that than you saying African. Because let me share something with you. African, right? If you say you are African, especially American, right? That means you come from two white men, Leo Cypriot Africanus and America's Amerigo Vespucci. Those are two white men. So looking at how you look right now, that's impossible for you to descend from two white men. That's not possible, right? And then you say you African, right? So, what is it? Yeah, read that. Thank you. Watch this. Call the book.
So this is the Compact Bible Dictionary.
It's under the Compact Bible Dictionary. Watch this.
So right now we are Ham. Ham, the youngest son of Noah. Probably born about 96 years before the flood. Okay, so it says the youngest son of Noah, right? He was born 96 years before the flood, right? Read. And one of 8 persons to live through the flood. Okay, so he's one of the 8 persons to live through the flood, which was Ham, Shem, Japheth, right? Then you had Noah and his wife, and then the sons had wives, so that's 3 wives, so that make 8 people. So Ham was one of the 8 to live through the flood. Read. He became the progenitor of the dark races. So you know what the word progenitor means? No. Progenitor means father or creator of, right? So read that again. He became the progenitor of the dark races. He became the father of the dark races, right? So watch this, because we're talking about, he said, yeah, I'm African, African American, or what? Read. Not the Negroes. Not who? Not the Negroes. He said he became the father of the dark races, but not the Negroes. When they took our ancestors off of slave ships, what did they call them? They were slaves, but what was the name that they gave them slaves? What was they had a nationality back then. It wasn't black, it wasn't African American. Say it again? Right, they call them Negroes. Oh, Negroes. Right, they call them Negroes. So read that again. He became the progenitor of the dark races. So Ham became the progenitor of the dark races, right? Not the Negroes. But not us Negroes. Right. Not us, but let's see who he was the father of. Read. But the Egyptians. Oh, the Egyptians. The Ethiopians. Ethiopians. Okay. So we call ourselves, some of us say we Ethiopians. And some of us believe that we Egyptians because they dark race of people too. Read on. Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. And Canaanites, like Nelson Mandela. Those are not our people.
I don't think so. You mean like Jamaicans?
No, Jamaican ain't African. Jamaican is not an African. Let me ask you a question. Is the Chinese and the Japanese the same? No. Do they look the same? They look the same. But they're not the same. So why do we have in our mind, because we black, that every African is our brother, or we are Africans? We look the same, but we're not the same. What's that, Tyree? Sidon?
I don't know what you're trying to say. Keep going.
But anyway, so we're not the same as Africans. Africans, they have their own people. But we, according to the Bible, the so-called Negro is truly an Israelite according to the Most High God. According to this Bible. We're Israelites, not Africans.
So y'all believe in Jesus or no?
Yeah, we believe in Jesus. Oh, okay. What color was Jesus?
You said what color was he?
Yeah.
I mean, the Bible says he was color blonde, like this, or, something like this.
Okay,
black.
Correct. Correct. But now, that should spark something in your brain to say, man, hold up. The Bible say, because the only way we know about Jesus, truthfully, is through this Bible. Would you agree? Yeah. Right? That's the only way any of us know anything about Jesus. Except for what was taught to our ancestors in slavery. And that came by way of the Bible as well, right? So look, but why would they tell us that image right there was Jesus?
So why would they tell us that?
Yeah, why did they tell us that? Did they tell us that because they... Right. So if you found out, that means they was trying to hide something. Because as a child, I'm quite sure you probably thought that Jesus looked like this.
Yeah, when I was young.
Yeah, all of us did. Everybody right here 95% of the people that come in and out this store know that. That we was taught that Jesus was a white man, right? So, but watch this. So, if they showed us that Jesus was a white man, wouldn't it be correct to say that maybe they were trying to hide something from us?
Come around this way,
Wouldn't it be correct to say that they were trying to?
I want to know the way I got 2 hours like this work.
To hide something, that they were trying to hide something from us? Because as we got older, we found out that that was not correct. That Jesus was not a white man, right? So, but we're going to show you the evidence, right? That in the Bible, that Jesus, that Christ is a black man. Read that Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14.
This is the book of Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks.
Okay, so this right here, it says in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, right? Read.
One like unto the Son of Man.
So this one right here, like unto the Son of Man, right? It gave off the light. It's the brightest one. Read.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So Christ had this garment that went down to the foot. Read.
And girt about the paps with the golden girdle.
So he had this, you know how when you in a prom or something like that, right? When you go to prom and he with his date or whatever, they got this. Yes. So yeah, but Christ had one on, but it was, what color was it?
It was a golden girdle.
It was golden girdle. His was gold. Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Said in his hair and his head was white like wool. So you see this right here? Look at this brother here. His hair is white, but the texture of it is woolly, right? Read on.
As white as snow, and his eyes were a flame of fire.
So it says his head on his hair was white as snow, and the color of his eyes, I tell you what,